What's up, friends? Today we are here with a brand new wheel test video, and it has been a while since I've done one of these, so I'm excited to show you guys a brand new set of wheels from Cloudwheel. Now, these are called the Discovery FE 120s, something like that. They say Discovery FE on the side. That's what they told me they were called in the email. And I gotta give a shout out to Cloudwheel for sending these over for me to do a video on. I did get the Galaxy Pro wheels, which I still need to do a complete review on. That was the last product they sent me, and now I've got these Discovery FEs. Now, I have to say, I'm fairly excited about these because they bring us a completely different experience compared to the other Cloud wheels that are on the market. These wheels are completely smooth. However, they feature the same foam construction, foam and urethane construction, that the ones with tread do. So it gives you the ability to basically ride the worn-in version of the treaded wheels right off the bat. And a lot of people do like the Cloud wheels more once they're worn in, because it gives you a little bit more contact patch and a little bit more grip. So these ones right off the bat are flat and they're stone ground. So there really should be almost zero break-in period for these. And today I'm going to share my first impressions and go over some of the little facts I do about each set of wheels while we do the efficiency tests. Now, the efficiency test route is about 7-mile route that I split into 3 speed areas: 15 to 20, 20 to 25, and then 15 to 20 again. That gives you a approximate average of about 15 miles an hour across the whole thing. And that is what I've been doing for every single wheel I've tested thus far, and that's what they'll be getting today. So we're currently on the roughest portion of the route, which is pretty much half sidewalk. And right off the bat, the impact absorption of these things is incredible. It's honestly almost as good, if not equivalent, to how comfortable the Onzera 115s feel. If you've ridden those, you'll know that they're a very soft rubber wheel, which at the end of the day probably does have a little more grip than these. But in terms of comfort, these things are killing it so far. The foam construction and the soft, smooth urethane is really doing a great job at absorbing those hard impacts from cracks, rocks, and larger bumps. And that's really an awesome thing to have in a wheel, because it means that you're not going to get as much fatigue in your feet. If your feet don't have to absorb all the bumps and the wheels do it for you, that's a great situation to be in. Now, believe it or not, I have not actually ridden the standard 120 millimeter Cloud wheels, the ones with the tread on them. I don't know, I've never gotten around to it, and they've never been something that I was super interested in riding. So I've probably ridden them maybe once or twice. I have spent more time on the 105 millimeter ones on the Revel kit, and those are nice wheels. They're super lightweight, and that can result in higher efficiency numbers, but these are definitely more comfortable than those smaller ones, in my opinion. I would expect that these are likely a similar level of comfort to the regular 120 millimeter Clouds with the treads on them, except with these you have none of the vibration that you get when you're starting to break in a new set of Cloud wheels. So they're super smooth and super comfortable. And continuing on that vibration discussion, the Mad wheels, the urethane with the holes in the back, people often complain about a vibration with those two, which I think is kind of a minor detail, really. I don't really notice it too much when I've ridden on them, and it doesn't really bother me. But I know it does bother some people. And comparing these directly to those 105s, of course these are bigger wheels, so they do absorb shock a little bit better by nature. But the foam construction on the inside is really putting in the work to make them probably one of the more comfortable small wheels that I've ridden. I would compare these a lot to the Cloudwheels Pro, which exploded on me a while ago. And honestly, I'm just really enjoying it. I gotta check my speed real quick because I think the speed on this remote is off by a couple miles an hour, so I'll check back with you in a second. Well, it turns out I can actually trust the speed on my remote, which is interesting because it used to be off. So when I changed the the wheel settings, it must have fixed itself. Anyway, we talked about the vibration absorption so far, and I don't have many miles on these yet. Only, I think I rode like 2 miles before this video, but the general feeling so far is that they're one of the best vibration absorbing small wheels that I've felt. It doesn't really compare to an air-filled tire, of course, but doing a great job there. In terms of impact absorption on the sidewalk, they were doing amazing as well. Super, super comfortable. And I think that is going to be a consistent theme with these wheels. Once you get past the, I don't know what to call it. People always complain about Cloudwheels being slippery. I'm not sure if that's really going to be the case for these ones. Now, I'm not somebody that goes around sliding my wheels. I haven't learned how to do that properly. But when I first pulled these out of the box, the thing really did feel pretty slippery, even with that stone ground finish, which, let's be real, the stone ground finish is basically just taking off your first 50 miles of riding. There's no break-in anymore. It's not shiny from the factory. They just make it a little bit rough to get it to a consistent finish, which I'm not complaining about. That's nice, but it's not going to change the inherent grip of the urethane itself. So we've got decent grip so far. Like I said, I'm not a slider, so I'm really just going to be basing grip off of the carving that I do, and if I take these on the track for some reason, I'll let you know there. But honestly, they're better than the 105 Cloudwheels, I think. And I think a lot of that is attributed to the fact that the contact patch is so much wider. You can kind of see the contact patch on these wheels. I'll put a measurement on screen. I believe it's 65 millimeters, 60 millimeters, something like that. I might be wrong. I'll have to look it up and put it on the screen, but it's not actually that wide. But when you compare to a regular Cloudwheel that's not broken in, and you see the minute contact patch and the fact that it's treaded, you start to understand why people have issues with grip, because there just really isn't that much contacting the road. And that is not the case here. You've got a lot of contact, and allows you to get some pretty hard carves in there. Comparing to the sound of how other similar sized wheels are on the road, these sound like they're gripping more. If you ride a lot of small wheels, you might know what I mean. With the X-Way Hydro wheels, which are urethane and then rubber on the outside, they make the sound of like the tire treads gripping as you carve. And honestly, I'm getting a little bit of that same thing here. And it's definitely a pleasant and reassuring feeling. Now, I'm not really going to go above 25 on this ride, but they really do feel pretty stable so far. And it's sort of a combination of the vibration and impact absorption working together. Now, one other thing that people are wary of with Cloudwheels is that the old ones with the black core, they had some issues with the cores exploding. And in addition, some people had issues with the thane delaminating, or the thane and foam delaminating from the core. Haven't seen that really as much lately once they shifted to the clear cores, which are also on these wheels. But time will tell. Hopefully the experience for everyone is good. No one has wheels blowing up on them. Squishing these around and testing them with my Durometer meter, they come in around 72 to 74A, and they feel pretty solid. They're not going to, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but they feel more confidence inspiring in their construction than the ones with the tread. And honestly, there might not even be that much of a difference between these and the treaded ones, but maybe it's just that smooth surface that's giving an illusion of a more solid construction. Not really sure, but anyway, we're doing pretty well so far on this ride. I have to say, I think these are, they fit somewhere in between the Mad 105s and the Onzer 115s in terms of comfort. And also in there is the hollow wheels. I haven't ridden the hollow wheels comfort yet because I was worried about them exploding on me, so I haven't wanted to take that risk. But the hollow wheels Pro also had a similar amount of comfort, so pretty happy with that, honestly. We're going to be going down rolling resistance hill in a second here, so we'll see how well they do there. And then, of course, at the end of this test, I will tell you what the efficiency number is, and I'll show you where it falls in the chart. And then I will keep riding them and hopefully get a full review out on these in probably a couple of weeks. Hard to put in a lot of miles when you got a lot of boards that you're testing, and I'm working on some board reviews right now, so it gets tough to rack up those miles on a board like this. But I did just replace the battery in this board. You probably recognize it from previous efficiency tests and wheel reviews. But this is actually the first high quality DIY that I built many years ago. And the battery in it was a 12S7P of Samsung 30Q cells, and it just died on me. One of the P groups got super out of balance, and it was time to replace the battery. Fortunately for us, the watt hours consumed, like watt hours per mile, is not really going to be affected by the battery that's running it. Unless I were to change voltage, then it could possibly, but it should still be completely accurate, same results as before. We're using the same pulleys, we're using the same belt ratio as the other wheels, so we should have a good comparison. We're now on rolling resistance hill, and I'm gonna try to gauge a little bit of how well these roll. One of the other things I talk about in these is the rollability, or what I call the ability to roll over obstacles in the road like pebbles and stuff like that. And the combination of the softness of the foam and the size of the wheels does make rollability quite good on these. And actually we're doing quite well on rolling resistance hill here. We're accelerating, we're at about 24 miles an hour. I'm gonna lightly put on the brakes. Yeah, these things are pretty good. They're not going to roll as easily as plain urethane, but it definitely feels pretty similar, which is good. I kind of expected them to feel more unstable, a little bit less predictable, but they feel just fine. Now we're on vibration bridge. Not really much that the wheels can do here, but I've felt much worse on standard urethane, so there's that. And there we're off. Back onto the rough hill. And I think that's all I want to say about these right now. I'm going to go ahead and take some more footage, finish out the efficiency tests, and we'll see what number they get. I'm thinking that it's going to be pretty average, somewhere between the Mad Wheels and the Onzer 115s, and gonna have a good time because they really are comfortable. Alrighty, we have just gotten to the end of the efficiency test and first ride, and honestly, I really don't have any complaints about these new Cloudwheels. These things were absolutely awesome. The grip was there, at least for me. Comfort was there. And now we're going to see if the efficiency is there. I have my doubts, to be honest, because of how comfortable they were. But we're going to go ahead and stop the tracking. Stop tracking. And we've got, wow, an efficiency of 21.5 watt-hours a mile. That is really impressive. Average speed, 17 miles an hour. We went a little bit high, but there's going to be some variation. This isn't a perfect 100% test. And rider weight today, probably around 175 plus about 5 pounds of gear, so probably about 180 pounds. I'm really impressed. Honestly, I don't have any complaints about these wheels right now. Time will tell if these have the Cloudwheel curse of wheel cores exploding. I really hope they don't, but good job, Cloudwheel. These things are awesome, and thank you so much for letting me check these out. Now, over the next couple weeks, I'm going to be doing some more miles on these things, and we'll see how they actually pan out over time, but this is a really optimistic, or a really great and optimistic start. So, awesome. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more videos like this. I'm going to be bringing back some of the wheel testing now that I've got my wheel testing board operational again. So keep an eye out for that. Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Stay safe, keep on riding, and peace out.